This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening as per your time zones and your locations. So let us begin our today's session. I was actually waiting for others to join, but I hope more people might join while the class is going on. So in last two classes, the first class we have seen as a demo, introduction, what is Linux, and the second class we have seen the architecture and important file systems in Linux. Now today we are going to learn how to install Red Hat Linux on any given platform. Now it can be a physical machine you are installing, on a virtual machine you are installing, right? Or if it is your laptop, desktop, wherever you want to install, the method of installation would remain same. So in our scenario, we are going to install Red Hat Linux 8.3, the latest version that is available in Red Hat series on a virtual machine. See, for our practice sessions and to do entire practicals, even if you see on production environment, mostly virtual machines are being preferred. So what is this virtual machine we are going to use out? I have given a small overview earlier, and again, I'm trying to give you some information on that. See, let us say that if you want 10 operating system, previously, when we don't used to have virtualization, we used to purchase 10 physical machine to install 10 operating system. Same way, if I need 50 operating system, I used to purchase 50 physical machine. The same way, if I need 100, I used to purchase 100 physical machine. Now, if I have 100 physical machines, just imagine how much space do I need to keep 100 machines? How much electricity is required to run 100 machines? How many ACs needs to be running to keep them cool? How much network cable is required to give networking, isn't it? So overall cost would be very, very high. To lower this cost and to make it affordable, virtualization has been introduced. So normally there are different types of virtualization, type 1, type 2, hypervisors, different concept is there, and I don't want to go into that. I just want to explain you that how virtualization works and in our scenario what we are going to do. So in our scenario, in our laptop or desktop, wherever it might be, you might already Windows installed. Like in my case, I have Windows 10 installed. On the top of Windows 10, I'm going to install one virtualization software. Now there are many software that are available, guys, like you have VMware Workstation, or we have Oracle VirtualBox, right? Or VMware Player. Many are available. Whichever you like, you can use. In our case, I'm going to go with Oracle VirtualBox because Oracle VirtualBox is free of cost. It is open source. There is no licensing. There is no subscription that you have to purchase. So it is free of cost. If you have other subscription like VMware Workstation or anything you want to use, you can use. So on the top of that virtualization software, we are going to create virtual machine. Now each virtual machine will behave as if it is an independent operating system, right? So you can put any operating system inside it. You can put Windows 7 if you want, Windows 8 if you want. You can put Red Hat Linux, you can put Ubuntu Linux, whatever it might be. So on the base Windows 10, with the help of virtualization software, I'm going to install multiple virtual machine, and each virtual machine will behave as if it is an independent physical machine. So you can keep any operating system and you can run them parallelly, right? So that is what we are going to do in today's class. So in order to work with virtualization, as I given you an overview in the last class also, again, I'm going to repeat it as some new joinees are there and I don't want them to get confused. So step number one, what you have to do is you need to download Oracle VirtualBox from internet. So just you can search for Oracle VirtualBox download and go to this website. And from here, you can download the Oracle VirtualBox that is going to support for Windows host. See, I'm going to install it on the top of Windows, so I need to select Windows host. If you are trying to install it on Mac OS, then you have to go with OS X and other things are there. But we prefer going with Windows host as my laptop is Windows installed. So I'm going to click on that. As soon as you click, the download will begin. Now I already have downloaded and already I have installed, so I'm not installing it again. You need to just download it. Once you download, it is going to be available in your download, right? And you have to install it from here. Okay, so you see over here it might be available like that. So I'll just double click on the software. Simple installation is there. There is no complicated to install Oracle VirtualBox. Simply you need to say next, next, next. The way we install normal software in Windows, same way you have to go with installing this fellow. You need to just say next, next, next. Like over here, I'm going to do next, next, next. Like that, you need to continue and finish your installation. As I have already installed it, I'm just canceling it. You need to say next, 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 and your software will get installed. Once the software is installed and you open it, it is going to appear in this fashion, right? So these things may not be available. The tabs, what you see over here, I have created that tabs. You won't be having that tab. It would be completely plain. So step number one in order to do today's practical is you need to do installation. See guys, I don't want you to do any installation simultaneously with me. Anyway, after the class, you will receive a recorded session of each class. Like previous two sessions, most of you, I have shared the recording. Abdullah is new. I'm going to share all the three recordings with you today after the class, right? So just watch this video and do your practicals. The best way is run the video at one side, little bit you see, and then proceed with the practical. Then continue the video, then continue with the practical. Like that, you can do practicals easily and simply. So once the software is installed, the next thing what you have to do is, Abdullah, do you have any question?
No, right now, no questions.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to mute you. If you have any
Okay.
question, then you can unmute yourself. Okay, so as I was telling you that you need to make sure that the Windows operating system what you are using is 64-bit because virtualization is not supported on 32-bit. How can I find whether my OS is 32-bit or 64-bit? When you go to properties of my computer, here you can see that it is going to display 64-bit version, right? So that must be first thing. And second thing, what you have to do is you need to make sure that your machine is having virtualization enabled. Now, how can I check whether it is supporting virtualization or not? The best way is to go to Task Manager. In Task Manager, go to Performance. Now, in Performance, observe over here. it might be showing like virtualization enable. Now, if your machine is not showing virtualization enabled, then you need to go into BIOS settings. See, what you need to do is restart your laptop, right? Or the best way, I'll show you what is the easiest way to know how to enable virtualization. You need to restart your machine. You need to go into BIOS settings, and in BIOS settings, you have to enable virtualization in order to make sure that virtualization is supported by your Windows operating system. If virtualization is not enabled, then creating virtual machine, doing installation would be difficult. So best way, if your virtualization is not enabled, then the best thing what you can do is you have to search with your laptop model. For example, I'm working with a model, for example, uh, Lenovo, right? So you can just say how to enable virtualization in BIOS Lenovo, something like that, as per your laptop. So when you go for it, you see it shows you the steps how to enable. You need to reboot your machine, and while your system is rebooting, see such errors you might get. So what you have to do, you have to reboot your machine. While the system is rebooting, you need to go into BIOS, and in BIOS you need to search for virtualization option, right? And there you need to enable. You see, power on the system, press F11, right? Go to search for virtualization technology and enable it. Different videos are also available. You see, you just need to watch this video and exactly follow the step, enable virtualization. The problem is it has to be done at the time of rebooting. So unfortunately, I cannot even take a team viewer, because when you restart, till the operating system is booted, our team viewer or other remote sessions may not be available. So I may not be able to take a remote session and help you. So you need to go into BIOS settings, you need to search for virtualization, and you need to enable it. Once you enable the virtualization, and thereafter, if you are facing difficulties, then I can take a remote session with TeamViewer or any desk, and I can help you installing this operating system. See, also we need to download Red Hat software, that is the Red Hat image, to install Red Hat Linux, which I'm going to share with you. Few of them I have already shared. Remaining people, I'm going to share it by today. Otherwise, if you want to download it, you need to go to Red Hat website and you have to register yourself with your corporate ID. See, it is not going to accept your personal Gmail or other accounts. You must register yourself with your corporate ID, with your official ID. Now, if you don't want to do all that thing, I have already downloaded it through Google Drive link I'll be sharing with you, but the size of the image would be around 9 GB. So it is going to take some time. You need to download it over internet, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do now, once let us say that we have installed Oracle VirtualBox, it is 64-bit operating system, virtualization is also enabled. Now the next thing what I have to do is I need to start creating a virtual machine. Now from here the process is very smooth and simple. To create a new virtual machine, you see there is a tab over here which say new. Just click on this tab, new, and it is asking you to give some name to your virtual machine. Whatever name you like, you can call it. I'm going to call it RHEL 20. For example, you can call whatever you want to call it, right? I'm calling RHEL 20. See, the moment I written RHEL 20, automatically the type is selected to Linux, and the version it has selected is Red Hat 64-bit. See, if virtualization is not enabled, you will not get Red Hat 64-bit option. So make sure that virtualization option is enabled, then only you will get 64-bit. Okay, so I have given the name. Name is your choice. Whatever you want to call it, you can call it. Then I will click on next. Then how much memory you want to give. See, even 1 GB is enough, but better to give 2 GB. Now, before I select this option, let me take back to our manual. See guys, this is the manual what you will be getting once you have registered, made the fees payments and all. So this manual is nothing but your lab exercises, what we are going to do. I'm going to use the same thing as the slides, and the same thing you have to use it for your practical references, right? For example, today's class, like we are going to learn how to do Red Hat 8 installation. See, whenever we are planning to do installation, we need to check requirement of hardware. We need to follow, guys, some guidelines whether our hardware is suitable with this software or not. So there are two types of requirement. One is minimum requirement and the other one is recommended requirement. Minimum is at least what you should have, without which going for installation may not be worth. But if you are looking for best result, best performances, then you have to follow recommended requirements, right? So when it comes to minimum requirement, we should have Intel or AMD dual core processor. Dual core processor means one physical processor with two cores. So physically it would be one, but logically it would be performing like two processor. So speed would be higher. Now, when it comes to recommended, it says we should have Intel or AMD quad-core processor. Quad-core processor means one physical processor with four cores. So physically it is one, but logically it is going to perform as four processor. And the RAM we should give to our machine is 4 GB minimum. 2 to 4 GB is enough, guys. You can go with 2 GB, and later on, if it is not sufficient, you can go with 4 GB, but 2 to 4 GB would be fine. But recommended 16 GB for best results. And the minimum hard disk that you must maintain is 25 GB, but if it is good, you can give up to 50 GB, right? Fine. Now guys, CPU architecture, as I've explained you, it must be 64-bit. So CPU architecture is available in two format, 32-bit or 64-bit. So with respect to CPU, softwares are also available in two format. Either it can be 32-bit or it can be 64-bit, right? So if your hardware is 32-bit, you must install 32-bit software. If your hardware is 64-bit, you must install 64-bit software. But guys, since Red Hat 7, right? Since Red Hat 7 or 8, it comes only in 64-bit version. So now you will not find any 32-bit software available. All you will find is 64-bit software only. Why? Because 32-bit versions or 32-bit hardware has become outdated. When you go to purchase a laptop or desktop, you see they are coming by default in 64-bit. The CPUs are now coming only in 64-bit version. 32-bit version is slowly becoming outdated. Almost it has become outdated. So all latest hardware you'll see is coming only in 64-bit. So Red Hat has stopped making 32-bit software. Only 64-bit version softwares are available from Red Hat 7 and 8 onwards, right? Fine. Now moving ahead, I'm sure guys you might have installed Windows or any operating system sometime, if you are installing Linux, especially Red Hat, you need to create 3 partitions for sure: root, boot, and swap. See, in the architecture of Unix, I explained about root and boot. One more time, I'll tell you, root is the main partition, main directory that holds the entire operating system. The whole Linux operating system will be sitting in that /, which is called as root. It is also called as what, guys? The mother directory to entire Linux operating system. The whole operating system of Linux will be kept in root only. So if root is such important, maximum available size will be given to root only. Then the next partition we are going to create is boot, which contains important bootable files to boot your operating system. 1 GB size is recommended for boot. Then we have our last partition, which is called as swap. See, swap, you need to give twice of RAM. Swap is one of that partition that support RAM. Right? Now, how exactly it support RAM, we are going to see that in the coming time. As of now, you just keep this in your mind that there is one partition that is going to support RAM, which is called as swap. So what should be the size of a swap? It should be double the size of RAM. Suppose your RAM is 1 GB, so swap should be 2 GB. Suppose your RAM is 2 GB, swap should be 4 GB. Suppose your RAM is 10 GB, swap should be 20 GB. Whatever RAM is, the double of that size you have to give it for swap. So to begin with installation, if it is a physical machine, you have to go into BIOS. In BIOS, you have to insert the CD DVD and you have to make it first bootable device, power on the machine, and you'll get this screen. So as in our case, we are working with virtualization, right? So you need to first start creating the virtual machine. One more time, I'll tell you, click on new and give it some name, whatever name you like. I'm calling it RHEL20. You can call it whatever you like. Then I'll click on next. See, 2 GB would be great to start with. So I'm increasing the RAM to 2 GB. 2048 MB is nothing but 2 GB. Then I'll go for next. Create a virtual hard disk now. See, most of the thing what I'm going to do here is going with next options, right? First of all, we have given the name. Secondly, we have assigned RAM. Now I'm going to say create a virtual hard disk now. Now what?
Mhm.
Yes, Hamid.
Yes, I don't know if you have click next, but what is still showing on my screen is name and operating system.
See, that's what I told you, that while I'm doing practical, do not do simultaneously.
I know I'm
First,
just to see, if you are doing it, I don't know, or you are just using it to explain. You are not doing, you already done it, right?
I'm doing the same way. See, I have clicked on new
Yeah, I see.
and
Mm-hmm.
I gave a name, RHEL20. Then
Mm-hmm.
I gave next.
Yeah, but it didn't show that you click next on my screen.
You have to click, it didn't show next on your screen?
Yeah, you know, when you click it, it didn't show. You didn't click next. You are just explaining.
No, I did click next.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
did click next. I
I
did
don't
click.
if others are seeing another screen, but what I'm just seeing is what I'm telling you on my screen. What I'm seeing is just the first page. After you click new, then I
Mm
give name.
-hmm.
That's what is still on the screen.
So you have to click on next. There is no next on your screen?
No, I'm not doing the practical yet. I'm just telling you. I just want to know if your screen is just
Oh,
or it's
it
like that.
it has to click. We have to click on next to continue. That's quite obvious.
Yes, I
To
know.
move to next screen, we have to click on next.
Oh, okay. All right. Just want to make sure that's not
Sure.
that your screen is frozen.
Okay. Okay. So I'll click on next, right? And I'll be increasing the RAM. I have made it around 2 GB. Then again, I'm going to click on next. Then the next question it is asking is create a virtual hard disk. So I have selected create a virtual hard disk now. And let me click on create. Now, what format of disk would you like to create? It is giving you many options, guys. I'm not changing anything. I'm going with first option VDI. Mostly what we are going is next, next, next. That's it. So here also I'm going to provide next option, and it is asking you how would you like to assign the space. Dynamically allocated is selected. Then again I'm going to click on next. So you see most of the cases I'm simply doing next. There is no complication, there is no complicated options. I have changed anything. Whatever it is giving, I'm simply going with next, 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 and I'm proceeding. Then the next thing it is asking me is to give the size of hard disk. See, as we learned, at least 20 to 25 GB would be good to start with. So I'm giving 25 GB. I simply typed 25 GB so that the space of my hard disk should be 25 GB. Now let me say create, right? See, one more time for your reference. Very simply, I'm going to show you very fast this time. I'll give the name RHEL20. I'm just repeating so that you may get the screens again. I'll click on next. Then what is the RAM? I'll just click ahead and I'll make it 2048 MB, that is 2 GB. Then I'll click on next. And this time I'll say create virtual hard disk now. You see, I'm just selecting the options it is giving. I'm not making any change. What type of hard disk? I have selected VDI, then again next. Dynamically allocated, again I'll say next. What size would you like to give? I'm selecting 25 GB. Then lastly, I have to click on create so that my virtual machine is created. You see at the bottom over here, it is displaying RHEL20, right? So I'm going to select this virtual machine and I'm going to perform that installation. See, if it is a physical machine, when the machine is booting, I'll press F11 or F12 or F2, whatever, and I will go into BIOS settings. But this is not a physical machine. This is a virtual machine. So when you are doing any change in virtual machine, you need to right click on that virtual machine. And you see there is an option here called settings. So when you click on settings, see, it opened the settings of the virtual machine. So if it is a physical machine, you go into BIOS settings. If it is a virtual machine, you will go into virtual machine settings. Now in virtual machine settings, first of all, go to system option. Over here, I'm going to increase the processor. See, we learned that at least 2-core CPU is recommended in order to start with. So over here in processor, only one is selected. So I'm going to increase it to 2 so that the performance should be faster, right? And after making this change, I'll come to motherboard, and over here you see the boot order. First boot thing is it is going to boot with floppy. Then if floppy is not available, it is going to boot with CD. If CD is not available, then it is going to boot with hard disk. Guys, I don't like floppy option. Seriously, nobody is using floppy nowadays, right? So I'm going to uncheck this box and I will put floppy down the order. So I want to boot with DVD or CD. If it is not available, then I'm going to boot with hard disk. So first boot device is CD or DVD. Second boot device is hard disk. This is the change you have to make. And when it comes to pointing devices, you see PS2 mouse is selected. Just change this option to USB multi-touch, right? See, when you select this, mouse cursor inside your virtual machine will work perfectly. Sometimes it is observed that selecting PS2 is giving issues while you're graphically working with mouse. So I don't want that problem. I have selected USB multi-touch tablet. Now, next thing, what I have to do is I need to go to storage. So once we made the change in system, the next thing I'm going to make the change is in storage. So in storage, I need to see over here, there is a CD option and there is a hard disk option. Hard disk option, if you select, it is showing you 25 GB hard disk is already assigned to it and all. That's great. So I'm not going to disturb the hard disk. I'm going to click on that empty tab on your CD. So just click on that CD tab. So you see there is no CD is inserted. It is your CD tray. If it is a physical machine, guys, you will press on CD drive, the tray will come out and you will put CD into it. And again, you will press the tray will go inside and your CD is inserted. But here we are not working with a physical machine. Here we are working with a virtual machine. And when we are working with virtual machine, you have to give everything virtual. Virtual network card, virtual hard disk. Same way you need to assign virtual CD drive. Now your virtual CD drive, you have to insert something called ISO image, the software copy of your DVD, which we have to download from Red Hat website. So I have already downloaded it. It is available in my computer, in my laptop, in my desktop somewhere. So how can I connect that Red Hat downloaded image to this? To connect it, I'll be seeing, do you see there is a CD icon appear over here? Just click on that CD icon and say choose a disk file. So when I click on choose a disk file, it gives me a window. So please go to that place where you have downloaded that software, what I have shared with you. Suppose I have kept it in document with the name RHEL 7 and 8, something I have chosen. So over here you can see that there is an image RHEL 8.3. So wherever you have downloaded, it would show you the same thing. Let me just say open. So now you see RHEL 8.3 DVD is inserted. What is the size it is showing you here? 8.82 GB. So guys, first of all, we came into system, we increased the processor, then we made sure that first boot device is DVD and second boot device is hard disk. After that, we came to storage. In storage, I just made sure that RHEL 8.3 DVD is connected to it. It is not a physical DVD, it is a copy or image of the Red Hat DVD, what we have downloaded from internet or Red Hat website. Now I'll click on OK. See, all my settings are done. Now it's time to power on my virtual machine and continue with installation. So I'll simply double click on the virtual machine, or you can right click and say start, normal start. Any way you like, you can start your virtual machine. For the first time, when you are powering on, it will question you, do you really want to continue with this DVD option? So you need to say yes so that it can continue. You see, it is asking you the question here. Do you want to continue with Red Hat 8.3 DVD? I'll say yes, I want to start with Red Hat 8 DVD. Let me just increase the size so that it is viewable. Okay, so now you see The screen size is quite viewable. Now there are certain options it is giving you. See, if you want to access the mouse inside your virtual machine, click anywhere in virtual machine. When you click anywhere in virtual machine, the mouse will work inside virtual machine. And if you want to release your mouse cursor so that you can make it work outside of virtual machine, then right side of your keyboard, where guys? Right side of your keyboard, there is a control key, right? Just look at your keyboard. There is right side control key. Just click on that control key and your mouse cursor will be released from virtual machine so that you can work outside. To go inside virtual machine, click anywhere in VM. To release the mouse cursor, press right control key, right side control key. When you click on right side control key, the mouse cursor will be out. Now you see there are two options, or in fact three options it is giving you. Install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8.3, test this media, and then install Red Hat Enterprise Linux. See guys, I don't want to test my media. If you are working with physical DVD might get scratches, isn't it? Now, if there are scratches, there is a chance it may not work properly. So in that scenario, testing the media would be a good thing. But here, I'm working with software image, so I don't want to test the media. I simply go to option number 1, install Red Hat 8.3, and let me hit enter. See guys, all the options what we have to select is available even in your manual. So when you go through manual, all the steps you will find over here, step by step with screenshot, which option to select and all. Okay, so let's wait over here for the installer to begin installation. Once the installer started, it gives us some option. So we need to select the option as per our requirements, and we have to continue with installation. So lots of choices we have to select, but the installation is so simple and easy. If you have installed anytime Windows, you will find it very similar to that. Just we need to select the options and keep it. That's it. Rest of the thing will be automatically completed by your installer. So few options we need to select as per our requirement, and then the installation would start. So let's wait for your installer to begin. See, it says starting installer. One moment. Okay, one more thing. What is the name of installer? See, the name of Red Hat installer is Anaconda. Right now, you will come across such names like Anaconda or Python or Wireshark or Tiger VNC or Squirrel Mail. Many such names are there. Most of the open source software names are kept on animal species or something like that. One of them is Anaconda. You know, Anaconda is the name of a snake. So that name has been kept for the installer, which is helping us to install Linux. These screens are provided by Anaconda installer. Now over here, it is asking you to select the language to continue with your installation, right? The language I need to continue, I'm going with English. You can go with any international or national language, regional language you prefer. It has African, it has Spanish, it has German, many languages. For Indian, we have Hindi, Telugu, Marathi, whichever you like, you can go for it. So I prefer selecting English. Now, when I select English, there are sub options. English United States, English United Kingdom, English India, Australia, Canada, Denmark, Ireland. Now, what is this sub option? See, I'm in India, I'm selecting English India. What's the benefit of selecting English with respect to India? See, there is no great benefit of it. Only one benefit is your currency will be set to your country. Like I'm in India, when I select India, the currency symbol will be selected to rupee, so that when you register this machine to Red Hat, they will charge you according to Indian currency. That's it. There is no great benefit of selecting it. only the currency symbol will be automatically set to Indian standard. So if you are in United States, select United States, UK, select United Kingdom. Only if you are trying to purchase a Red Hat subscription, in that case, it is going to charge you according to your country's currency. That's it. So I selected English with respect to India as I'm in India. Whichever country you are, you can select it as per your country. Now let me click on continue. Once I'm done with my selection, I need to click on continue. So let's wait for a moment so that it may give us the next screens to continue. The next screen is a dashboard. Now on that dashboard, lots of options would be given to us. We need to go to each option and we need to select the choices what we want to continue with. So a big dashboard, as you can see on the screen, is available. Now you have to go into each option and change it as per your requirement. Now over here you see keyboard English India with rupee symbol. If I would have selected US, it would give us dollar symbol, right? That's the only difference what you will get. Language support is English and time zone is has selected is New York time zone. Now, if you are in New York, that's okay. But if you are not in New York, then definitely you want to set the time as per your country. This is important. To change the time and date, click on time and date option. When you select it, you see it shows you a map. It shows you the region, that's the continents where you want to select. See, I'm in India. India comes under Asia. So I need to select Asia as a continent. And inside it, I need to select one city which represents India. See, there is a landmark given for each country. Like for India, there is a landmark called Kolkata. Now, instead of searching that name from that list, I can simply select my country from the map. Just click on the map of your country and you see automatically Kolkata has been selected. If you are in US, you have to select it as per your region. You can just go to United States. In United States, wherever you are, you have to select it as per your location. So I'm in India. I'm simply selecting my map, that is Asia Kolkata. That's done. Now once you have selected, click on done. That means your choice is selected. I want to quit this menu. Okay, next thing it is asking you is to connect to Red Hat network to register this machine. See, I don't have any subscription, so I'm not going to connect to Red Hat. Doesn't matter. Maybe after installation, if you want to register, you can register. See, registering is only required when you have a subscription. When you have a subscription, you will register so that you get updates. When we don't have subscription, don't go for connecting to Red Hat. Then installation source is local media. I want to do installation from DVD. No need to change it. Software selection. Yes, here we have to do some choices. So let me click on software selection. Now, when I click on software selection, it gives me lots of choices. Like over here, you see the option by default which was selected is server with GUI. If you want to install a graphical interface, that means you want to work with graphics after installation, then you have to select server with GUI. Server with GUI will give you both options. People who like to work in command line will get command line. People who wants to work graphically will get graphical interface also. Almost 1400, close to 1400 packages or software will be installed when you select server with GUI. Now, if you need still more packages, then you see at the right side it is written additional software selection. So apart from those 1400, if any extra package you want or extra software you want, you can select it from here. But I don't recommend installing any extra software because these software we can install anytime we like after installation. Then the next thing is, guys, let us say I'm a command line lover and I want only command line to be installed, no graphics. Then you need to select server. When you select server, it is only going to install command line. Around 700 packages will be installed. 700 software that gives you command line access. If you want to go with even smaller installation, suppose I have only 1 GB space in my disk and inside 1 GB I want to install entire Red Hat. So I need to go with minimal install, but this is not recommended. Minimal install will not even give you basic software. Every software you need to install manually. So I don't really recommend it. If you are installing it for your laptop, desktop like Windows for your personal usage, then you can go for workstation. When you select workstation, then it is going to install a user-friendly graphical tools, all that to work the same way how we work with Windows. Then we have custom operating system or virtualization host. See, Red Hat comes with a built-in virtualization called KVM. So suppose you are planning to install Red Hat on a physical machine. On the top, you want to install virtualization, then you can go with virtualization host. But guys, 99.9% only two options are used. Either go with server with GUI if you want to go with graphical interface, or if you want only command line, then go with server. You see that 99.9% only these two options are used. And I'm going to select server with GUI so that I can show you how even graphics also work. So let me select server with GUI and click on done. I want graphical installation to be available, right? Now after this, I'm going to go with installation destination. See, installation destination is nothing but the hard disk and the partitions. Guys, we learned that for installation we need three partitions: root, boot, swap. So these partitions I want to create. How can I create it? I need to create it from installation destination. Click on installation destination. Right now over here, if you observe, it is showing you what is the hard disk size you have. So it shows that you have 25 GB hard disk. Entire 25 GB is free. And the next thing it is showing you is how would you like to do partition. See, there are two options it is showing you: automatically create partition, or the next is customly create the partition. Guys, if you select automatic, entire 25 GB will be automatically created into partitions. You don't have to do anything. Total 25 GB will be used and automatic partitions will be created. Root, boot, var, home, all partitions will get automatically created. See, I don't want automatic creation of partition. I want to create partition. I want to give the size and I want to reserve some size for my future use. So what I'll do over here is I'm going to select custom, which gives you choice to do partitions on your own. So let me select custom and let me click on done. So I have selected to do partition on my own. I don't want automatic partition. Now, once you say custom, it shows you that total space is available and how much space is used. So total space is 25 and available space is entire 25 GB. That means there are no partitions that are available on this virtual machine previously. It's a free machine and free hard disk. And you see it is giving you a choice to do partition in LVM format. Now guys, we don't know what is LVM. In the coming classes, we will learn what is LVM. Then again, we will come back for installation and we will do LVM based installation. So as of now, we'll simply change the choice to standard partition, normal partitioning, no specialized partition. I want to go with normal, simple partition. Guys, to create a new partition, you have to click on plus. To remove existing partition, you have to click on minus. So I'm going to click on plus. Now, what partitions you can create during installation? See, you are allowed to create all these partitions during installation. Root, boot, home, var, swap, BIOS boot. In our case, we are going to target only three: root, boot, and swap as discussed. So first of all, I'm going to select root, the main partition. Everything of your Red Hat operating system or Linux operating system or Unix operating system will be kept in forward slash. The whole thing will be kept in forward slash. And the capacity, how much you want to give. See, 25 GB is available. At least half of the space we will give it for root, because root is important. It needs more space. So suppose I want to give 15 GB. How to give 15 GB? See, if you're giving in KB, you have to say 15K. If you are giving in MB, you have to say M. If you are giving in GB, you have to give G. If you are giving in TB, you have to give T, like that. K for kilobyte, M for megabyte, G for gigabyte, and T is for terabyte. Like that you have to give. So I'm okay with 15 GB. I'll click on add. Observe at the bottom, out of 25 GB, right? Now you are remaining with 10 GB. Why? Because 15 GB partition is created now. That's great. Next thing what I have to do, again click on plus over here. Observe guys, whichever partition that you have created, that partition will be removed from the list, right? So I'll go with boot partition. Right? So boot partition I have to create with the size 1 GB, right? Root is created. Now I'm creating boot with what size? 1 GB capacity, right? Let me say add. So you see root is created, boot is created. I'm again going to click on plus. This time I'm going to select swap. See, we created root, gone from the list. We created boot, gone from the list. Now I'm going to select swap. How much RAM we have given to our RAM, our system? 2 GB. So if 2 GB RAM is given, how much swap shall we give? 2 GB, the swap should be 4 GB, double of the RAM. So I'll give 4 capital G to select the size as 4 GB. Let me click on add. So you see root is created, boot is created, and swap is created. Still I'm having 5 GB remaining, which I will use in future classes, right? So I'm keeping this particular thing, and remaining thing we will be using right in next thing. So let us click on done. Once you are done with all the class this particular partitions, then click on done. As soon as you click on done guys, it will warn you that if there are any previous partitions that was already there, it will be destroyed. See, there's nothing to worry about it. We worked with a fresh machine. So even if you are working with your existing machine, you have to accept the changes that, okay, delete previous partitions and create all these new partitions, whatever I have asked it to create. Done. Now installation destination part is also completed. The next thing is kdump. Now this is really important and interesting guys. See, when we talk about kdump, kdump stands for kernel crash dump. What is this kernel crash dump? Suppose guys, one day we were working with our server, our Linux machines, and suddenly the system got restarted, right? Suddenly the system crash or blue screen appears, something happened. We were working and suddenly the system got crashed or rebooted. Guys, if suddenly due to any reason, if your system restart or crash, don't you think you should know the reason why the system crash so that in future we can avoid it, isn't it? Right? We want to know the reason why system crash, and that crash reason can be found out if you enable kdump, kernel crash dump mechanism. So if your kernel or OS crashes due to any reason, the reason of crash will be collected by kdump. So enabling kdump is very, very important because anytime if kernel crash, the reason can be found out by reading kdump. Kdump is like a log file, guys. Whenever the system crash, it captures the information and store it in var crash so that you can go, you can read, you can find out that why kernel crashed. So please make sure that kdump is enabled. Disabling kdump is not recommended in many of the environment. We should always make sure that kdump is enabled and it is managed automatically. Instead of we managing manually, let the OS manage the kdump sizes and everything. So let's not disturb anything, just make sure that kdump is enabled. Then the very, very important part, network and host name. See guys, I want you to work in a professional way, the way we work on our production environment. Once you work, I don't want you to get confused that, how in production the things work, or are we learning the production way or not. So let's try to work the real way, how we work in real scenarios. See, to make sure that we work in a perfect way, networking must be configured. Now, guys, if you don't know about networking anything, what is IP address, what is subnet mask, what is gateway, there is nothing to worry. In networking chapter, I'm going to discuss about all these networking basics in detail. In depth, I'm going to explain. So as of now, whatever I'm showing in this option, please follow the same thing while you are doing practice. Don't do anything different. Even whatever numbers I'm typing, type the same way. Whatever changes I'm doing, do it the same way, right? Once we come across networking chapter, then I'll explain you what exactly IP address is, subnet mask, gateway, other all option. So as of now, I'm going to hit on networking option. See, in networking, there is first choice over here is to call your system with some name. Whatever name you like, you can call it. It's your choice, it's your computer. Whatever name you want to call it, you can call it. I'm calling it mlinux 20, or you can name whatever you like, right? So I'm going to call it mlinux 20. Then there is an option here. Select the adapter you want to work. If you are having multiple adapter, then you have to select any one of the adapter. In our case, we have only one adapter, so I'm selecting it and I'm clicking on configure. So after selecting the adapter, click on configure. The moment you click on configure, please never forget to do this thing. Click on general. Listen to me very carefully. Click on general. Don't forget this option. Many of the people forget this option and their networking will not start working. So select this option and click on automatically connect with priority. See, it is unselected. You have to select it. So first thing you have to do, one more time I'm showing you, click on configure. After clicking on configure, the next thing you have to do is go to general. In general, please select connect automatically. Do not forget this option. Otherwise, every time the system restart, your adapter will be deactivated. So you have to again manually activate the adapter. All that thing you have to do. If you don't want that, make sure that automatically connected is selected. The next thing is go to IPv4 settings. Click on IPv4 settings. Over here, it is written automatic DHCP. Now, what is DHCP and all? All we will learn in networking class. Do not worry even a bit for this. We are going to learn in depth about networking options before going for Red Hat related networking. So as of now, do exactly the way I'm doing. Don't do anything different. So make sure that automatically is changed to manual, right? And once you have changed to manual, click on add. So first change it to manual, click on add, and please type this number the way I'm typing. If you don't want any confusion, everything to be fine, then just type the numbers the way I'm typing. Same number you should also type. 192.168.10.20. Guys, this is called as IP address. What is IP address, how it works, all we are going to learn. Now, once you type the number this way, 192.168.10.20, then just press tab key. There is a tab key on your keyboard. Once you press tab key, right, automatically 24 is selected, right? Now, don't make any changes to that 24. Let that 24 be there. Just click on save. That's it. Now your network setting is done. Click on off. See, this connection is not active. I'm enabling it. Once you say on, you see it says that 192.168.10.20 is the IP address of this machine. See, what I want you to do is assign this IP so that we should work in a professional way, the way we work on our real scenarios. We would be somewhere else, our machines will be somewhere else. You will not be even able to see your data center where it is, right? Suppose we are in New York and your data center is somewhere in Florida. So how you will be connecting? You should not ask where is the data center, how to connect. We will be connecting over network using the IP address. So that is the reason we have set IP address so that using this number 192.168.10.20, we should be connecting from our laptop desktop to our machines. So I need to check whether this IP address is working or not. See, we are using Windows machine here. So let me click on Windows and R button. So one run option will appear. Now over here, I'm going to test whether that IP is working or not. So I'll run ping-t and let me give the number 192.168.10.20. I'm just testing the network. From my laptop, I'm testing the virtual machine is connecting or not. And the testing is done by using a command called ping. Ping is a network command that tells the other machine is up or not. So let me hit enter. See, it should reply, but as you see, there is no reply coming. Why there are no reply coming? Because you have to do some more networking settings. Guys, exactly follow the same way what I'm doing. Go back to your VirtualBox console. See, whenever you are doing practicals on your laptop desktop, see this step at least 2 to 3 times so that no confusion is there. Don't quickly jump and try to do the practical. Just do this step number of times. Make sure that you watch it perfectly. First thing, what I have to do, just give me a moment, just one moment, guys, one moment, I'll be back. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. So first thing what you have to do is go to your VirtualBox file option. In file option, there is an option host network manager. Go to file, go to host network manager. Now over here, see there is an option VirtualBox host only adapter. Now it is selected configure adapter automatically. So I don't want this. I want to change it to configure adapter manually. Click on that, and over here you might see there might be some number, something like that, 192.168.100.172, something this number might be appearing. So first of all, you have to select configure adapter manually, and over here change the IP 192.168.10. See, on your virtual machine you have given 10.20. Now many people does this mistake. I don't want you to do that. On a virtual machine also you have given 10.20, and by mistake here also people will give 10.20. So this is going to be my laptop IP, and that was my virtual machine IP. Now people do mistakes here. Don't give same IP to virtual machine and your laptop over here. This is the mistake, and then your networking will never work. Give some different number. The best thing what want you to give is 10.2. See, virtual machine is 10.20, and this fellow I'm setting is 10.2. 192.168 10.2, and in the next line you have to give 255.255.255.0, right? So first you have to give 192.168.10.20, and second line 255 255 255.0, and let me click on apply, right? So let me select it and say apply. Why it is selecting in that way? One second, guys. I'm really sorry. Let me set it to 10.2. 192.168.10.2. Let me apply the changes. Let me say yes and close it. Now check whether the pinging started. No, still it is telling request timeout. Now the last thing, guys, last thing you have to do, you have to go to your virtual machine networking. So let me right click on my virtual machine, go to settings, go to network option. This is the last thing, guys. After that, we don't have to change any settings. First time we went to file, we went to host network manager, we changed the IP there. Now right click on your virtual machine, go to settings, in settings, go to network option, and you see NAT is selected. Just change it to host only adapter. Right click on virtual machine, go to settings, come to network, and change it to host only adapter. Okay. Now just wait for 1 minute. At least 1 minute we have to wait after making that change. And you will find that your virtual machine will now be responding. So first we have made the change in host network operation, and second we have made the change in virtual machine settings. Once this setting is done, you see that the IP address will start working. Do not worry, guys, if you're facing difficulties, if you're not getting this option after you try a lot, there is nothing to worry. You can reach me out. I'll take the remote session on TeamViewer, or before the class, after the class, and I'll be helping you with these options. So there is nothing to worry, but I want you to first try on your own. Most of the people will be able to get this result perfectly. Few of them may not be able to do it properly. I'll be there to help you people. I'll take a remote session and set up your lab. So as you see, it has now started to reply. That means your networking is now working perfectly. So this thing you must do at any cost. If this thing is working, then tomorrow's class onward, everything will be fine. So, okay. So guys, our networking is set up, network option is done. So let me click on done. Then the next thing is policy, security and all. Ignore it. We don't have to go with any security policies. It is in testing format. If you select a wrong policy, unnecessary issues will be arising. So I'm going to ignore that option. In fact, I'll go now by setting up root password. Now, guys, if you remember our first class, I told you root is also the most important user in the system. In Windows, we call it as administrator, the most powerful user. In Linux, we have root user who is very, very powerful. Now, without setting the root password, you cannot continue. So let me set a simple password. I recommend you to also give same. I'll be giving a password Red Hat, REDHAT. You can keep whatever password you want, but I recommend keeping Red Hat so that easily we can remember the password. Now it says that the password is weak. No problem. Click on done 2 times. Whenever you have given a weak password, you must click on done 2 times. So let me go with done the first time and one more time done second time. 2 times you have to press on done so that you confirm the weak password. So you see root user will be by default created. Whenever you install the operating system, automatically root user will be created and the password will be given. Now apart from root, do you want to add one more user, a normal user maybe with your name or my name? If yes, click on user creation, right? Suppose I want to create a new user with a name called my user. I want this user to be created additionally once your installation is completed. This is optional. You can create user whenever you want, but I want this user to be created, right? And the password I want to give is red. One more time, red. See, I have given a weak password with the name what? Red. And I want this password to be there. Okay. So as it is a small password, again 2 times you have to click on done. First time done, then again second time done. Right? So all your selections are done. You have selected the keyboard, time, you have selected the installation source, you have selected how many partitions to be created, KDUM to be enabled, networking to be set up, and whatever security policies you want to set up. But we ignored the security policy, it is in testing format. We have selected root password, and we also told installer to create uh, my user. Now all the selections are done. Now you need to click on begin installation, and when you click on begin installation, your installation will be started. From here it will take around 30 minutes to complete your installation. Nothing we have to do, simply sit back and relax. Rest of the thing will be automatically completed by your installation. Once your installation is finished, it would inform you. See, all the screens are in your manual. All partitioning we have done, all selections we have done, everything is completed. Okay, so here we are. Now, once your installation is completed, it asks you to click on reboot to reboot your machine. So once your installation is completed, simply click on reboot and your machine will be rebooted. And for the first time after rebooting, when you boot your system, after installation, when you boot your system, it asks you to accept the license, and optionally, if you want, you can register to Red Hat Network. See, accepting license is important. We call it as EULA, End User License Agreement. When you install a small software also, guys, you have to accept the license, isn't it? Same way, here we are installing the whole operating system. Definitely, you have to accept it. So click on license information and select this box. So this is going to accept the license agreement. Then click on done. Ignore subscription manager because we don't have any license key, we don't have any registration. When you click on subscription manager, it would ask you to type the license key. Like in Windows you have license key, but license key will be verified online, right? Or you must have your corporate ID, your username, password of your organization. With that you can register this machine to Red Hat Network. So I don't have any subscription option as of now, so I'm ignoring it. And whatever Linux we are installing, it gets full version. Even though we have not subscribed, we still get full version. Linux is very beautiful. It's not trial version. Everything will be available in full version only. So click on Finish Configuration and your installation is completed. So this is the way, guys, how we have to do installation of Red Hat. Now, same way you have to do it on any platform. You are doing it on a high-end server or your laptop or your desktop, on a physical machine, on a VM of Oracle VirtualBox or VM of Workstation or VM on ESXi, KVM, Citrix, wherever you are doing installation, the whole installation process remains same. No difference in installation wherever you might be doing, right? So practice this thing today. And tomorrow we are going to start our first actual class in Linux. That would be the basics of Unix, running some basic commands and working with Linux. So up till now, we were only in theory. We discussed the demo, introductory class, we discussed the architecture. Today we did installation. Tomorrow our real practicals will start. We will work on command line. So you will get today's time to do your labs and all. People who have not shared their email addresses with me, kindly put your Gmail email addresses so that I can share the Red Hat software with you and the previous two recording with today's recording, right? So just for reference, guys, if you type, I already have Hamid and Hamse's email address. I'm already communicating with them. I request Manoj, Satish, and Abdullah to type your email addresses with Gmail account. It would be easier for me for communication. Please type your email account on the chat window so that I can communicate with you emails, and I'll share the required software and other things with you people. And if you have any doubts, any questions, guys, so far, you can put your questions, anyone. Thank you, Satish. Manoj, can you type your email address as well? Abdullah, can you type your email address so that I'll be having all email addresses for communication, please?